And we're live! Welcome to another Reverend Meadows show. We brought back Brigid, and Jen is here today because she finally decided to show up for work.
What the fuck? I do more work than you.
I knew it was coming. But yeah, how are you guys doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
You interrupted me being a mermaid.
And there's
Yes,
pics
guys,
too.
you heard her correctly. Yeah, it did pics or it didn't happen. That's all I gotta say.
You already saw the pics.
Yeah, she has pics. It's legit.
Anyone takes this out of context. Jesus. Pics or it didn't happen. You already saw the pics.
Mm-hmm. Internet Rule 34. She did not violate it.
Nope.
Yes, on this day, all internet rules were followed. All right. George, a break from last time, and like I said, Jen's back, and it's nice to have you back. You know, thought I might have to fire you there for a second.
I ran the show while you were just MIA. You didn't even tell me where you were. You just completely logged off and never came back. We thought you were dead.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I don't have no clue what you're talking about. I've been here the entire time. Shh.
I have 16 voicemails proving otherwise.
Brigid's face. She's like 16. Like, goddamn.
She just owned you. Oh snap!
This is why I need someone to back me up. All right. So we're discussing today the shift in journalism from our traditional, newspapers and whatnot to what people will consider, I guess, cell phone journalism, where now everybody can be a journalist. All you need is a blog and a cell phone to go record something, and I mean, now it's helped with police cases of police brutality and other things. But we're going to discuss that. Going to discuss oh, that's really cool. Sorry, looking at lightsabers. We're going to discuss people's distrust of what people consider mainstream or traditional forms of media, and how people are turning towards more new forms, the newfangled things all the kids are on, like the Young Turks and other places, and whether this is a good or bad shift. So let me log off and stop looking at lightsabers so I can be focused.
Should I stop playing Skyrim?
No, you focus a lot better playing Skyrim than I do watching anything that has to do with Star Wars.
Wait a minute. So I'm the only person paying attention here? That's scary.
Oh no, you have my full attention.
No, I'm paying attention, just dark side for life.
You see, I'm a pharmacy technician. I've learned to be able to listen to everything and never make eye contact with you, but hold a full conversation while my hands are doing like 6 other things.
Nope. Now you're security.
Shh, nobody needs to know about this. My job is now top secret.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
tell about our job.
Oh, God. All right, so the first topic, like I said, especially now that we have YouTube, it's given rise to YouTube and the smartphones, and now it's coding. You don't even really have to code to make a website anymore. I mean, there's a few of us that still know how to code. I do, but most people nowadays, you can just go to a site like Weebly and throw in a title and patch a few things together, and there you go. You've got yourself a blog. And I don't know. I was just curious what you guys think about it, because, like I said, everyone's a journalist. All you need is a smartphone and a blog.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like it's kind of gotten out of hand, because it leads to an issue where at least what it should have been with traditional forms of journalism and traditional journalists and media is you could fact check it. There was supposed to be some fact checking, and there was a whole division usually meant for that. But now anyone can put out any crazy thing, and if you can get enough people to believe it, it becomes fact.
But the other side of that is our media in this country has become more infotainment They do not fact check, and as soon as they get any details at all, they run with it even if it's not accurate. And it hasn't always been that way, but over the last several years, they all do it here.
Yeah, for those of you guys who are out of the States, we were talking about the great old USFA.
Yeah, U.S. media outlets, and if I want accurate news now, I have to go look at BBC, Deutsche Welle, something like that, which is a shame. And I don't think phones have anything to do with that. I think the 24-hour news cycle did that.
Definitely, but Jen, I'm curious, what do you, as you play Skyrim, what do you think?
Actually, I have infograph. Well, according to I told you, I can multitask.
Actually, I have an infograph.
Yes. According to most polls, I'm going through like 3 different websites right now. Most of them are saying between the 1990s and the early 2000s, Americans had the highest trust of traditional media. However, right now it's at an all-time low of only 40% of America actually trusts mainstream media. They cite this as being issues with big-name companies, as she said, running with stories and not checking anything, or covering shit up as they go. So you'll get something, and then they'll change the story to suit whoever's paying their paychecks.
That is correct.
And before I go to my point, I think a good example of this would be CNN Democratic debate. As they had their polls of who you thought was winning, and it fluctuated for the most part as you continue on. But the one real constant was, for most of the time, Bernie Sanders was winning, and then when they went to the final poll afterwards, Bernie Sanders was winning. But sure enough, like, the poll wasn't on the website, and then Anderson Cooper, everyone's reporting, oh, well, Hillary Clinton, everyone says Hillary Clinton won the debate. And it just really seems to be, again, whoever's paying you or donating the most. But I feel like phones did have a part to play in it. Not to say that it's anything negative, but again, phones used to be just something that you, like, the only purpose was to call. Like, up until this year, I had a flip phone. It was meant for me to call and text, and that was really it. But now you have cameras, and you can add an SD card, and you basically have like a pocket-sized computer, with you at all times. Or you can go in, you can maybe not be the most sophisticated way, but you can edit it and post it on YouTube and post it everywhere. Again, you can create a blog, and you also, like you said, it's not the worst thing in the world, because we do have a situation where traditional forms of journalism and media have become infotainment. And for the few people that do want to just report on the facts and only the facts, this is a great outlet. Now you don't have to go work for a company and be told what to do. You can, say whatever you want to say and type and write however you, whatever you want to. But the overwhelming majority is pretty much the same as mainstream media. It's infotainment, whatever, whatever headline can get the most views and the most attention.
But in some cases, though, if people didn't have the video of whatever incident, there would be no proof that it happened. And especially in cases of police brutality, the police will claim no wrongdoing, but if there's video of it, then they can't really dispute it. Which is why they try to make it illegal to tape cops in some states.
Yeah, that's one of the positives is, again, in cases of police brutality and other things, you can you have evidence. Before you didn't. There's never really been a time where body cams were a really big thing and any of that. So without cell phones and without everyone being able to record, obviously these cases would have been a he said, she said, or he said, they said that 9 times out of 10 would have resulted in police, just skating off and being able to do whatever they please. And even now, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get convicted. Or if you get, quote-unquote, removed, you're just going to be transferred, or you're going to be removed temporarily or put on unpaid leave sometimes if someone really wants to be mean.
I'm just going to leave that door open.
But at least
cat problems.
Hi, Cat. But at least there's evidence, you know.
Mm-hmm.
At least this time, there's no way for people to say, well, this sort of thing doesn't happen, because you can't dispute with what's on the camera most times.
Yeah, unless there's evidence that it's been, tampered with or edited.
Yeah, but a lot of people who are just recording off of their cell phones, no offense, they don't have the ability. Yeah, and even if they are, like, you can kind of tell it takes a lot of skill to tamper with just raw footage and do it right.
So if it's on there, you're seeing it, as it happened in real time, or almost real time, because they upload it immediately.
Yeah, most times. If the police don't take their phones beforehand. But no, I feel I'm in a weird category, because working with Rationality Unleashed and then doing this show, and I mean, we covered Ferguson and other things generally either as they were happening or right after or before.
Mm-hmm.
And so in many ways I fit into this category of this new age of journalism and media, where now regular people, because I'm no one fancy, I've gone to college, I am just a regular person. Jen is like the most educated person that started the show. And
degree number 3.
Oh yeah. But still, we're not, it's not like we're going for journalism degrees. It's not like we work at some big network. I just upgraded my equipment this year. But we still get to report, and a lot of people, again, you look at the Young Turks and people like that, who, just like any other person or just any group of people, they have their own biases. They were able to start an entire company, and they did go on TV for some time, but at the end of the day, they are on the internet. They're still on the internet. They are an entire company pretty much built off of the internet. And not only an entire company, but an entire news organization built off of the internet. And that itself is inspiring. But we do need to, I feel like we still, as long as the mainstream or the traditional forms of media exist, we do need to push more towards not only transparency, but more towards real news and real information instead of infotainment. Mm-hmm. Because, and another example would be CNN. They're reporting on Lamar Odom, who is, for those who don't know who Lamar Odom is, one of the Kardashians' husbands, former NBA player, does a lot of drugs now. Just fallen from Grace Star, basically.
He hung out with the Kardashians. Is this any question here?
Yeah, he married a Kardashian.
Exactly. That right there should have spelled his doom.
But he was found in a Las Vegas brothel. And we've been covering this guy's story just like we covered the Kardashians, just because, again, he's associated with the Kardashians and he's a former NBA star. He found in a brothel after a 3-day binge, and he's in a coma. Organs are failing and on a lot of drugs. Now, don't get me wrong. I guess this has some relevancy to people who care, but at the same time, more information has come out about America's drone program, and I haven't seen CNN and many of the major outlets report on it once. Mm-hmm. If CNN did mention it, it really was only once. I don't remember Anderson Cooper ever mentioning it, and Don Lemon, or Lemon, I keep forgetting, who I just take issues with. Not one. It was all about Lamar Odom and the crack epidemic and this issue and this NBA stars falling from grace. Which, no offense, again, to those who care about NBA stars and things that happen to people in the sports world. There's outlets for that. There's ESPN. There's other news networks, Fox News or Fox Sports. Fox is a whole division dedicated to sports. It's perfectly fine. It's acceptable. Yeah. But I don't come to CNN to learn about what happened to the nearest basketball player.
Right.
except it's Fox. You know. Can't
I
trust
mean, it's Fox, but it's sports, so they got to tell the truth, right?
Mhm.
I mean, that's
drinking again.
no. Um, but yeah, it's just again, as long as these forms of media still exist, the traditional forms of news media, news outlets still exist. I feel like we do need to push for transparency and fact finding and an actual journalism. Now, this is no disrespect to those journalisms who have put themselves on the line or in the Middle East and other places abroad. But for the ones that are in America and call themselves journalists, I raise a very large eyebrow. But no, what do you think is going to happen to the traditional forms of, I guess, news outlets and the traditional forms of news media as this trend increases? Because again, we keep finding out more and more of these people that we looked up to have just bombed it.
Mhm. I foresee the problem getting worse. Ever since the FTC allowed these news organizations to be acquired, we have 6 main corporations now that own all of the media outlets. And I see further consolidation at some point. Time Warner may end up buying out Fox.
That is crazy to think about. 6 organizations own all of the media. Not only in this country, but I'm sure in other what we consider the Western countries. That's crazy. But no, Jen, what do you think?
Well, you gotta look at it like it's a business. At some point, these people are going to realize that their lies are actually costing them money, and they're gonna defer back to actually fact-checking because they're gonna want to get the viewers back, they're gonna want to get the sponsors back, they're gonna want the money flowing again. As soon as they realize their behavior is costing them money, that's when the change will happen.
But I would agree, but you also have to look at by the time they realize that it might be too late. Because I'm sure, again, programs like the Young Turk and other things have taken people by storm. No one really expected a major news outlet to spring up solely on the internet. But also, you got to look at shows like The O'Reilly Factor. Good God.
That's propaganda.
I mean, it's propaganda, but I mean, I forgot what the claim it is that he makes, but I mean, it's true. He's the number one most watched cable news program, if I'm not mistaken. One of the, that's insane. Bill O'Reilly has the number one most watched news cable show. What?
I blame reality TV for dumbing down people.
But I think there also needs to be some blame on the people for accepting this bullshit. Yes, that's what it is. It's bullshit.
They want to be entertained, and if it wasn't drawing viewers and making money, they wouldn't do it. It's all about ratings now, and that's why we have a reality, TV star that might end up becoming president next year.
Donald Trump 2016. Obama, you're fired.
Yep.
If he becomes president, I'm leaving.
Says everyone that I know. No, God, I'm ashamed that I said that on air. No.
Sound drop.
For me, it's this is gonna be the worst soundbite. No, I just sit here every time I think about how bad it is, or I kind of forget. I have to think about what this would have been like if the media and the news outlets were like this when Vietnam was happening. Because if there were no reporters actually reporting, no one would have known what was really going on in Vietnam.
Exactly.
If it was just like it is now, it would have been terrible. There would have been way more lives lost, and that's what scares me, because who knows what bullshit our government will get us into next time. And if we can't rely on CNN, MSNBC, and all these other news outlets that have been around forever, that have been doing this forever, that we've always turned to for the truth, then where do we go?
I know that when the Egyptian government was falling the first time, it was 3 days before any of the media outlets here was even covering it. They were more interested in Lindsay Lohan going back to rehab. And I'm like, there's a revolt going on in Egypt. This is important, yo. And not a peep in our news.
It's so crazy because...
And that was freaking huge.
I noticed, especially dealing with friends that are out of country, being out of country, and going around. Every other country talks about our news better than us. Like the actual news, the actual facts. Not only do they cover their shit, and they get all their stuff handled, and then they go and handle other surrounding countries, other important events, like world events. But like America is almost a joke. Like they save us like the best for last. They're not going to believe their shit.
Yep.
And it's something crazy like that even like somewhat sounds like something that should happen in America does, and they're like, you're not going to believe it's not America. I don't know. It's like I said, you brought up the BBC. Again, they do an excellent job not only covering what happens in America, but covering what happens abroad.
And so does Al Jazeera.
Yeah. Again, insane to me that we're so focused on what happens in our own country, but we're never focused on what's important. Because I think they did it was for a joke. A while back, they did a video, and I'll have to find it out. If I can find it at some point, I'll put the link in the description. Where they were just asking people where the Gaza Strip was.
And they couldn't tell you.
Yeah, they were over here pointing near Las Vegas, California.
West Bank.
Who's in the hood and who got shot? Because I hear sirens.
Yeah, probably fire truck.
I'm amazed the siren hasn't popped up on my house yet.
Sounds off on Skyrim. We're good.
I'm sure it will after this show. Yeah, it's really. I don't know how to feel about it. But I think this actually transition into our next topic a lot better, which runs along the same lines as far as God, I'm tired. I'm sorry, guys, if I sound stuffy or anything. For anyone who ends up watching, I was sick because allergy season. I was complaining and bitching to Jen for like an hour, like hours before this. Like, I really don't want to get up and do this.
Got up and did it.
Yeah, I got up and did it, but I didn't want to.
Jay, I will point out to you, your sound is still shit. You sound like a robot.
I sound like a robot.
Yeah.
Autobots roll out.
You might want to reset the mic.
You don't tell me what to do.
You can do. I'm your boss. I'm your producer. Don't reset the mic.
I'm a grown damn man and I do what I want. Also, I did. I don't know if it worked.
No, you still sound like an Autobot.
This is the greatness of running a live show, guys.
I tried to tell you. I said the sound dropped out. While he tries to fix his mic, Brigid, is there anything you want to plug?
I will plug my show. I am a co-host on Holy Crap Vlogcast. We air every Saturday night from 11 p.m. Central until 1 a.m. Central. And I do have a blog. It's Brigid.Fitch2112 at WordPress.com, or you can find me on Facebook under Brigid Fitch. Yay.
Does the sound any better?
Nope.
No. Okay, good. She's hearing it too, so it's both of us hearing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna see if this laptop mic works better.
While he's doing that, if you're all interested, I have my own little works of fiction on Figment, and yeah, we're just using time to pointlessly plug stuff, Jay. So take your time. I also have my cosplay and photography /art. All of that can be found from my Twitter, which you can find located in the link of this video.
Did I fix it?
Yeah, Jay, you sound a lot better. It's great. You're good.
You're lying to me.
Only minorly.
And this, guys, is why you don't run a live show on a shoestring budget. Jen, I'm gonna type you something to plug in and you plug it, okay?
Okay.
Okay. This is what we're gonna do.
Yes. Lock picking increased to 51.
Check your Facebook.
Here we go. Right, so, while Jay's fixing his mic, in another plugin, the Godless Collection, created by our awesome Reverend Meadows, is actually being moved to its own site. So you can now find all of the wonderful pieces of apparel on... Did not send me the
A
web
site to be named later.
to be named later. I'm assuming it will have something to do to be with the apparel of some sort.
It'll be praisejesus.com.
It'll be what?
praisejesus.com. That's the new site coming up.
I'm pretty sure that's already a website. In fact, I think it's a porn site.
That's hot.
Wow.
Awkward silence from technical difficulties and then dirty jokes. Oh yeah. Great.
I still have that technical difficulty sign we can throw up.
No, we're gonna say fuck it. I'm gonna just sound like a robot for like the next 5 minutes, okay?
Okay.
So, last question to you guys, and then I can close out the show and go back to the Autobots hideout. From everything we discussed, do you think that the new shift in journalism and the turn away from traditional media and news outlets is a good thing or a bad thing? Brigid, go.
I'm going to say bad thing.
And why?
Just because, yeah, if it bleeds, it leads, and since it's ratings driven now, and they're counting clicks on, visiting websites and things like that, I think they've lost their way. The media has, and it's all about generating revenue now. So, and putting things behind a paywall, so you have to pay to read it, and just very sloppy journalism. And I think that the ubiquity of having smartphones, with G3 and G4 capabilities, it makes it worse. And, they're not going to put out very good articles either because people get, too long, didn't read, so I blame reality TV.
right, Jen.
Right. It's an all-around bad thing. I mean, you have people that are more interested in the Kardashians posting about what they had for lunch than they are about a possible war breaking out in the Middle East again.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe eventually actual media will get the hint that they're losing their way, and I'm sure they're going to get back to it. I'm almost positive that once they figure out the money's drying up from what they're doing now, they will turn it all around. The question is, how long is it going to take for them to turn it around, and how long is it going to take for them to rebuild the reputation they had in the 90s? I mean, in the 90s, you had Jack Abramoff. That scandal was huge. That was front page everywhere. I'm sure Brigid knows what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, yeah, that was a thing back then.
Yep.
That was, the Washington Post broke that story, so eventually we will get back to that point. It's just how long and how many stupid, idiotic moves are we going to have along the way? How many people are going to be more interested in a picture of the Kardashians' turkey dinner than they are in, you know, Britain having a terrorist bomb a train station or some other random event?
Yep.
Well, I mean, and I think I speak for all Autobots here. I don't know, the robot voice is still in effect.
It is.
Great. First off, fuck Decepticons, Autobot Gang Squad. But no, honestly, I think it can be a good or a bad thing. It all depends on the people that are behind this. If traditional forms of media, you know, and news outlets go, then hopefully things like not only the Young Turks, but you know, just other new forms of news and news outlets take its place. The internet was going to replace television anyway, in many ways it has. You know, you don't. Most people aren't watching TMC's movie marathon. They're watching Netflix, where you can just go get something on demand, and that's how people like it. And with the news, a lot of times you have to sit there and wait for something to come on a time and things like that. But with a lot of these things, especially with the way many of the online or the internet news outlets are doing it, they do really quick and short videos, and it's just simple facts and simple stories. You can go pull that out any time. And, you know, you can go binge watch it for like 3 days if you're a news junkie for some reason. So it can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. If internet news outlets come in and they take the place of traditional forms of outlets, hopefully, I'm realistic, they'll probably go the same way as the traditional media outlets. Probably a lot faster because of the nature of the internet, especially YouTube. I would hope not. I really would. But realistically, that's the case. But maybe a few of the older ones will hold out. But it's if the traditional outlets are going to continue this path, then I say it could be a good thing, possibly. Also, Autobots are the superior Transformer. So, I don't know how much of that cut out, and I don't know how robotic I sound, but I think this is a good place to end the show. Brigid, thank you for coming. Jen, thank you for coming into work, you lazy bum.
You know what? You have 3 months of disappear time. I think I've earned vacation.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for putting up with our bullshit. Autobots roll out.